Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We have completed today the 16th juz, which contains Surah Kahf, the last portion of it, Surah Maryam, and Surah Taha. The theme that runs across this juz is predominantly the theme of family, where in the juz mention is made of father and son in the story of Ibrahim and his father, the story of a mother and child in Maryam and Isa alayhim salam, as well as the story of brothers and the mention of brothers, and that is of Musa and Harun alayhim salam. We are going to focus on just one of these relationships from this juz and discuss the lessons we can draw that relate to us today. And that is the mention in the Quran of Musa and Harun alayhim salam. One of the most heartwarming depictions of family support in the Quran is that of Musa and Harun alayhim salam. When Allah Ta'ala had granted Musa alayhi salam prophethood and instructed him with the honorable task of giving da'wat and inviting Fir'aun to believe in Allah and accept Islam and to invite the Bani Israel towards Islam, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam did not want to face this task alone. His thoughts immediately turned to his brother Harun. And instead of making dua for himself, he made such a special dua to Allah on behalf of his brother that Allah loved it so much that Allah mentions this in the Quran, where Allah Ta'ala says, وَاجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي, that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, appoint for me a helper min ahli, from my family. And then he clarified who from his family. He said, Haruna akhi, that, oh Allah, this helper from my family should be my beloved brother Harun. Ushdud bihi azri, and strengthen my responsibility through my brother Harun. Wa ashrikhu fi amri, and not only let him be with me in my mission, but let him also share the honorable title of prophethood. Make him also a messenger. And ulama say that this dua is considered the best dua ever made of a brother for his brother. That he made dua that Allah Ta'ala make him also a Nabi of Allah. Allah Ta'ala granted Musa alayhi salatu wasalam's request, and Allah Ta'ala made Musa alayhi salatu wasalam's brother Harun also a Nabi. And Allah sent them together to face the greatest tyrant of their time, Fir'aun, with the following instruction: idhaba ila Fir'aun innahu tagha. So now go both of you as my messengers to Fir'aun, for indeed he is a great oppressor. He has transgressed our commands. فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَى. And then Allah Ta'ala commands them with the manner in which they should interact with this person whom Allah has just said that he has transgressed all bounds and he has earned our anger. Allah says, فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا, that speak to him in a gentle, reaffirming, comforting manner. لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَى. Your manner of speech should be such that perhaps in your manner of discourse, he may take heed or fear Allah. So, what are the lessons that we take from this incident that Allah has depicted in the Quran? One of the first lessons is that when Allah Ta'ala commanded Musa and Harun alayhim salam to go to Fir'aun, Allah spoke about the manner in which they should speak. That qawlan layyinan, speak to him in a gentle, kind manner. So when it comes to our family and the manner in which we interact with our family, we should be speaking kindly when interacting with our family, whether it is to our spouse, whether it is to our children, our brothers and sisters, our parents. And even when we are reprimanding our children, Allah commanded Musa and Harun alayhi salam to speak kindly to Fir'aun, a man who claimed to be a god and committed countless injustices. If Allah instructs such kindness even towards a tyrant, then how much more should we be using gentle and kind words with our family? Because soft speech in reality strengthens relationships and hard words just create distance. Sufyan Thawri was a very pious person who's mentioned that lasta bi afdala min Musa, you are not better than Musa, walalladhi tu'addibuhu asharru min Fir'aun, nor is the one whom you are reprimanding worse than Fir'aun. فَكَيْفَ لَا تَكُونُ لَطِيفًا فِي كَلَامِكَ. So how then can you not be gentle in your speech? Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam has mentioned that مَا كَانَ الرِّفْقُ فِي شَيْءٍ إِلَّا زَانَهُ, that whenever kindness is found in something, it beautifies it. وَمَا نَزِعَ مِنْ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا شَانَهُ, and whenever it is removed, kindness is removed from something, it becomes defective. How important this is, our manner of speech, that psychologists explain that when we are upset and we raise our voices, then the reason we raise our voices is because now we have lost focus of the emotional connection. And instead, we are expressing anger, which is a sign of that emotional disconnection. So when we are shouting and using harsh words, we are creating emotional distance, even though you are physically close to someone. Your souls are distant at the time of anger. In contrast, when we use kind and calm words, then these are communication tools which bridge the emotional gap, keeping the body and the emotional self closer. So when we are being gentle in speech, even when we are disciplining our children, it is a way of keeping the physical and emotional connection intact. This is how important our speech is. The second lesson that we learn is that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said, وَأَشْرِكْهُ فِي أَمْرِي, that, oh Allah, let my brother share my task with me. Instead of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam telling Allah that, oh Allah, I can handle this honorable and noble duty alone, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam made dua that his brother also be given a share of the honor of Nabuwat, as he wanted his brother to succeed with him and not be left behind. So what does this mean to us in our lives? That instead of only asking Allah Ta'ala for our own success, we should be making dua for the success of everybody, whether it be our own family, our extended family, our community, the dua for spiritual and as well as material progress. You're making dua for your a happy marriage in your child's life. Make dua for a happy marriage for everybody. Make dua for each other's well-being, everybody's well-being. Why? Because a family's success is interconnected. And Nabi alayhi salatu salam has mentioned that da'watul muslimi li akhihi bi dhahril ghaybi mustajaba. The dua of a Muslim for his brother in his absence is certainly accepted and answers. That whenever he makes a dua for good for his brother, an angel is appointed for this particular task. And the angel, قال الملك المؤكل به آمين ولك بمثلي, that whatever dua you are making for your brother in his absence, the angel is appointed to say Ameen to your dua, and the angel says, may the same be for you. So if you are making dua for the well-being of someone, this is your dua to Allah for somebody. But the angel is making dua for you to Allah Ta'ala. For the same thing that you are asking for that person, the angel is saying Ameen to your dua, and the angel is saying that, oh Allah, you grant this person the same that he wishes for that person there. So you are getting the dua of the angel. And the third thing that we learn is the support and wishing well for each other. That Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said, وَجْأَلِّي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي. Oh Allah, appoint for me a helper from my family. That is, that Ya Allah, instead of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam wanting to do this alone, he got the support of his brother in his mission of Nabuwat. So it is important that we learn to wish well for the success of each other. And instead of feeling jealous when a cousin or a family member starts a business and you see the business is taking off and it is successful, then instead of being jealous about that person, we should offer our support by helping to promote the business in whichever way we can. And over and above that, express joy at their success. As parents, we should learn to support our children wherever they need it and feel joy at each individual child's accomplishments without comparison. That is why Allah Ta'ala mentions in another verse, وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. And do not wish for what Allah has favored some of you over others. That Allah has given each one of us, each one of your children has been given a different talent. And you should acknowledge that unique gift of that talent of your child and praise your child and give your child the support they need in growing that particular talent of theirs, and do not compare one to the other. So Musa alayhi salatu salam and Harun alayhi salatu salam, their bond of brotherhood was such that they didn't envy one another. Harun alayhi salatu salam wasn't jealous over Musa alayhi salam. Neither did Musa alayhi salatu salam look down upon his brother Harun alayhi salam. But they gave strength to one another. They worked as a team and they assisted one another in their designated duty that was assigned to them from Allah Ta'ala. So true love in a family is being happy for one another's success and learning to support and grow and encourage one another. Is the story of a fisherman who was on his boat with a few guests, and he was catching crabs and placing them in a net. One of the guests noticed that the net was left open and asked the fisherman, "Won't the crabs escape?" The fisherman turned to him and said, "Observe and watch the net." And suddenly now this drew the attention of all the guests, and all of them started looking at the net. And what did they observe? They saw that every time a crab tried to climb out, another crab below would pull it back down. And this continued happening. As a result, none of the crabs managed to escape. So this, the fisherman then said to them, is the nature of the crab, that it cannot allow to see another crab gaining the upper hand. It will always pull the other one down. So in our family life, when we see someone progressing, whether it is materially, whether it is spiritually, instead of supporting them, we end up pulling them down with jealousy and negativity and discouragement. So we should not be like that crab. Instead, we should be the complete opposite. And instead of being envious, like how Musa and Harun alayhi salatu salam were, we should support and uplift one another. That is why Nabi alayhi salatu salam had said, Allahu fi awni al-abd ma kana al-abdu fi awni akhi. That Allah is in the aid and assistance of his servant as long as he is in assistance of his fellow Muslim brother. So as long as you helping someone, Allah has promised his help to you. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq of bringing these qualities into our family life so that the reality of true Islam can come into our lives. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحان الله وبحمده، سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.